Abandon Flowers and I Can Change. Do you like that one, Joe McElderry?
I do like that one, and I actually sing one of his songs in my show.
Do you? Which one do you sing?
We do the Killers track, Human.
No, I like that one as well.
Yeah, it was one of the first songs that I ever sang when I got my first ever gig when I was about 14.
Right.
So when we put together the show this year, I kind of wanted to pay a little tribute to it.
All right, well that begs a question then, because a little later on we're going to be hearing your version of the Luther Vandross track Dance With My Father, a cover version of course. So how do you approach a cover version then? Or a cover song on stage or whatever? Do you want to always put the Joe McElderry take on it?
Well, I think you've got to pick things that really match your voice, first of all.
Yeah.
And I think, secondly, with Dance to My Father, when I did the audition, you have to pick like 3 or 4 songs that to take to the show almost.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they want to hear you sing something else,
okay,
like 3 or 4 songs.
All right, hang on, I'm going to interrupt there. So are you giving away a bit of a secret? So when we see on Britain's Got Talent and Mr. Cowell's there, and he sort of holds his hand up to the right and just sort of says, hang on, you're rubbish at that song, but have you got another one? That's sort of all sort of pre-prepared, is it?
Well, I mean, I suppose you could say it's pre-prepared, but on the other hand, a lot of people, you don't know what they're going to ask you to sing out of the 3 songs.
Ah, right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of is prepared, but it never happened to me. But I've seen in the audition process it happen to other people.
Yeah.
And I almost think sometimes that's actually worse if that happens, because then you kind of know that they're not that sure, or there's a reason why they're asking you to sing something else because you've messed the part of the audition up. So I think if that happens to you, it's almost the worst thing that can happen, to be honest.
Now, tell us then, you're coming to Devon. I mean, you've been to Devon a few times already over the course of this year or so. You've been at Babbacombe recently. You've also been at the Queen's Theatre in Barnstaple. But now you're coming down to sunny Exmouth this weekend.
I know, and it's like the hottest week of the year. I'm hoping it's going to be the same when I get down there.
It's always going to be hot at your gigs, isn't it? So, Exmouth Pavilion. What are people going to get? What are they going to get? Some classic covers, as we were alluding to earlier on, and some of your back catalogue, obviously.
Well, the show is called the Evolution Tour.
Yeah.
And basically, I put the show together kind of around the idea of that I've changed a lot over the past 5 years with it. I've released 4 albums, and all of them have been really different to one another.
Yeah.
I did a classical album, I did a really up-tempo pop album, I did a Christmas album. I'm not singing any of the Christmas songs in this show, but
I dare you.
Too early for that.
Come on, I dare you. Sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer just to wind people up.
But it literally starts right at the beginning. So we've almost kind of recreated the whole kind of how I walk into the entrance of the show is almost like I'm stepping on to do my audition again. But obviously, it's the version that we do now is a modernised version. It's changed.
Yeah.
We do a few of the X Factor things, pay kind of tribute to that. We do some stuff off the classic album, some off the pop album. I sing a few new songs as well. It's all kind of about it kind of all goes through the albums, I suppose, in little snippets of songs.
It sounds to me like it's Joe McElderry the musical, almost like your life story, like Buddy on the West End stage, if you know what I mean.
Well, a little bit. I mean, it was quite difficult because I haven't released an album for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. I've been touring quite a bit. I've been out on the road for pretty much 2 years, and so when I came to put this show together, it was actually more difficult than I thought it would be, because I thought it would have been easier because I hadn't released an album, because then I didn't have to put any of the kind of new album tracks on when you're out promoting a new material.
Yeah.
But it actually made it more difficult because I had to sit down and kind of think about if I was going to see the show, which songs over the past 5 years would I want in there to kind of represent what I've been doing. So I really had to sit down and think, and I went on Twitter and asked fans, if you could hear anything in the set, what would you like to hear? And also we do this bit in the show called Jukebox Jewel, where it's 10 minutes of the show completely unrehearsed, and we turn the lights up in the venue and the audience actually shout out requests.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's stressful for me, but it's really fun. It's a really fun part of the show. And me and the band literally almost like do a live rehearsal on stage. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch. And I did it a couple of years ago, and I've done it for about 2 years now because people seem to really enjoy it. But what I did is I kind of mentally took note along the tour last year of what people kept shouting out and requesting.
Yeah.
And I thought it's actually quite a good way to kind of find out what people want to actually hear. So so I kind of built the set list around that as well.
All right, and you sort of perhaps half know what people are going to be shouting out, because I suspect there's a few sort of regulars that come along. But I'm interested in that 10 minutes because just about Christmas time, I was speaking to Catherine Jenkins, the Welsh soprano, and she did something similar on her tour a couple of years back, and somebody kept on shouting out at her to do an AC/DC number, which I think would have been interesting, but I'm just wondering, what's the weirdest thing that people are shouting out at you? Go on, Joe. Do I don't know, Joe Dolce's Music Theatre or something. I mean, what will they say?
We had Firestarter by, what's that?
Prodigy.
Yeah, Prodigy. Yeah. Somebody shouted that a couple of weeks back. We have anything from Queen, I Want to Break Free, to Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, to Nessun Dorma, to One Direction. Honestly, it goes, sometimes it's like the most challenging thing ever, because obviously you're trying to find out the keys live on stage of the songs. You're trying to come up with a quick arrangement, because we do literally like a verse and chorus of each song.
I was going to say, because otherwise you'd have to remember all the lyrics of every song in the world.
Yeah, it's like it's short snippets, but what ends up happening is we're trying to come up with an arrangement by looking at each other in the eyes with the band. But it's great. It's great for us actually, because it really kind of gels with the team. And you know, I almost think it kind of, if anything did ever go wrong with the show, that's kind of a fine example that actually, if you just kind of listen and follow where each other are going musically, then it's, you know, you kind of have that trust with each other. It's really kind of built our musical relationships up.
And you can get through it, so you know you can get through it. But the other thing as well is, and I think this is nice from the audience's point of view, because you'll have been to concert tours in the past, I'm sure, Joe, when, you know, you're a big fan of, I don't know, whoever it is, whatever band it is, and you're such a fan, you sort of say, well, I'll go and see them in my nearest town there, but I might see them a few weeks later when they're in London or Manchester or something, because I like them so much. And you realise they do exactly the same thing each night, whereas you've got an element there in your show, which is guaranteed to be different and unique to every place you go.
That is true, and I always I'm really a big kind of, I'm always a no on that. I always think that every show you do every night should be completely different from the night before, even if it's just changing
one or two songs,
one or two songs, one or two different notes that you do in the songs that just mix it up a little bit, because I always think that it's like, not only for the audience, but if you're doing the same thing every night, it doesn't become sincere anymore.
True.
Do you know what I mean? It becomes like a stage thing, whereas if you're changing it around and mixing things up, it's new to you as well, which then keeps you kind of refreshed and energetic for the show. So I always try and mix it up. But that jukebox bit, you're right, completely, it throws me every night, you know, because sometimes it's a set of really easy songs, and then sometimes it's like really hard songs that you've really got to think about, and you're doing it in front of an audience.
Well, listen, Joe, you happy to stay with us for a few minutes?
Yes, of course.
Good man. We're going to play Dance With My Father now, Joe McElderry, and then we'll be back chatting some more about what's going to go on in Exmouth and also the whole X Factor thing. Joe McElderry, Dance With My Father. He was just 18 years of age when he performed that at the auditions for the X Factor TV show. He bowled the judges over and is still bowling us over today with his version of Dance With My Father. Joe, I'm just wondering, when you hear that, what happens in your brain? Does it take you to the sort of side of the stage as you were just waiting to wander out for the audition, or what goes through your head?
Well, it was, I think I've kind of, I've performed it kind of so much this year actually, that it's brought back a lot of memories doing it all of this year, because up until the start of the tour in February, I hadn't really performed it for quite a while. I don't know why, I just kind of stopped performing it for a while, and then I realised everybody was asking for it, so we'll put it back in the show, but we'll do a little bit of a different version. I've kind of took it back to the original Luther Vandross kind of, like that chilled back R&B kind of drum beat behind it, so we'll do that version now, but that version was obviously for the classic album. So it's been a massive part of my career, you know, and obviously brought huge memories throughout, and a big song actually. Like I grew up listening to all that kind of music as well, so it reminds me of being younger too.
Yeah. What about the X Factor experience in general? Obviously, you know, great at the time. It's got you to where you are now. Are you very happy looking in retrospect at the whole X Factor 2009 thing?
Oh, I mean, you know, it was one of the best experiences that I'll probably ever experience. Certainly in my career, it was a huge thing. I was a massive fan of the show, and I think like I always say, everything is a stepping stone from the platform of that show. So everything I've done afterwards, yes, I've worked hard, and I've gone out and worked and done things and had amazing opportunities, but everything stems from being seen on X Factor. So I'm forever thankful for that platform.
And very grateful, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay, let's get some quick-fire questions out the way, and let's see where we're going in the life of Joe McElderry. Is it right you're currently in Dictionary Corner on Countdown?
I am, yes. I'm doing that this week.
You're good with your words?
Yes. Well, I had a little bit of help. Susie Dent helped us.
She always does. That's very good. Okay. Due to play Tommy in the Who's Rock Opera in Blackpool later on this year?
Yes, September.
Wow.
Which I can't wait to do that, actually. I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's going to be so much fun.
Now, it also says signed up to play Panto as well. Cinderella. Yes. Now, I can't see you playing Cinderella.
No, me neither. I'm actually the man in the mirror.
I know. I'm pulling your leg, but that's going to be in Hull later on this year. And a couple of other facts. Brand new album, currently working on it.
Yes, been in the studio trying new material and had some exciting... heard some exciting things last week actually about songs and certain styles, so that's all good.
But obviously you can't be doing that when you're performing, so you just have to fit it in.
I get a couple of days off a week, so I've been doing little bits and pieces and having meetings here and there and trying to piece everything together. But as well, you want to take your time with it. You don't want to. I don't want to just throw something out there for the sake of throwing something out.
Sure. And as we know, you're very starry and very showbiz, and you are limousined to every concert you go to, or is it just in a camper van?
I'm in the camper van. I travel around. To be fair, it's a beautiful camper van.
I know it is.
It has
swish.
It's very posh.
We'd expect nothing less. Yeah, I know it's a bit poorly at the moment, so you'd normally be travelling in the camper van, certainly to most of your gigs. And lastly, let's just work out what else we can say about Joe McElderry's life. Joe McElderry, Exmouth, July the 4th. You're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think it'll be my first time in Exmouth, actually. I've been down that area, but I've never been to Exmouth before.
It'll be lovely. And so the beach is lovely. You can get an ice cream right on the front there.
Exactly. And I always look forward to coming to places where I've never been before.
Do you get mobbed? Now, I would imagine that if you're in Exmouth, right, and it's going to be hot and it's going to be sunny, and I don't know, probably you and your mum or your entourage will be wandering along the prom, and you'll get yourself one of those nice ice creams from one of the cafes down there. You'll be wandering along just wishing to take a little lick of the ice cream, and somebody will stop you for an autograph, by which time you've got ice cream dribbling all down your hands.
It's funny.
Does that happen?
It does. I mean, but it's funny. It kind of happens when you least expect it. So if you kind of plan to try and go a little bit undercover and stuff, then it never really happens. But then when you don't plan it and you kind of go and think that, I'll be okay where I go here, that's when it happens. So I just kind of, if it happens, and you just deal with it. You just deal with it as it happens.
What's your rock star get-up then? Pair of sunglasses?
Yeah, maybe a pair of sunglasses and a cap. Nothing too special.
So there we are, with Mark Jacquard. If you see somebody in Exmouth on Saturday, pair of sunglasses and a cap, it could well be Joe McElderry.
I've given it away.
Well, you've given it away, but I suspect there's probably quite a few people who will be wearing baseball caps and sunglasses on Saturday. Joe, lovely to speak to you. I know you're going to enjoy your visit to Devon. Joe's performing at the Exmouth Pavilion this coming Saturday, July the 4th. Do go along and have a splendid evening in the company of Joe.